Welcome back, class. I'm Mr. Teacher with the SAT Math video guide, and last time we left off on number 6 of the final section of test number 3. So today we're going to be starting off with an absolute value problem, which is the absolute value of 6 minus 5y has to be greater than 20. So if that value is true, which of the following is a possible value of y? And then they give us choices. So for it to be the absolute value, of course it's going to be absolute value. For it to be the greatest possible absolute value, because it needs to be bigger than 20, which is a pretty big number, we need the value of y to be as big as possible. And so that when you multiply it by -5, it becomes a very, very big number. So at least big as standards. So now, since you heard me say this, you might go and run ahead to choice E, say, oh, it's choice E. Well, if we try choice E, which is 6 minus 5 times +5, that's equal to 6 minus 25, which is equal to 19. 19 is not greater than 20. So we know that the positive numbers aren't going to work, because the answer choices contain 2 negative numbers and 3 positive numbers. If the biggest positive number didn't work, then we know the other positives are not going to work. So we can cross off choices C to E. So now let's look at choice A, which is -3. If 6 minus 5 times -3, if we calculate that out, that's 6 minus 5 times -3 is +15. So it's 6 plus 15, which is equal to 21. And 21 is greater than 20. So we automatically know that if that's correct, that's the correct answer. So it's choice A. I forgot to draw an outline there, I just realized. But anyways, let's move on to number 8. In red. So the legs of right triangle ABC have lengths 3 and 4. What is the perimeter of a right triangle with each side twice the length of its corresponding side in triangle ABC? So let's draw triangle ABC. Like so. And you might already know where this is going, because if you remember your Pythagorean triples, 3, 4, and another number is 1 triple, and the other number is 5. And so are the multiples of that number. So keeps going on. These are all are right triangles. So what is the perimeter of a right triangle with each side twice the length of its corresponding side in triangle ABC? Well, let's just look at the double choice. That's the triple choice. Let's look at the double choice, which is 6, 8, and 10. So we just need to add those numbers together, and you get 8 plus 10 is 18, plus 6 is 24. And that's choice D. And excuse me, because, well, if you noticed it, I don't really need to say it again. If you don't worry about it. Nothing really happened. That's a very big 9. 9. And there's a box. It doesn't consist of many lines. That's why I'm drawing this one out. And because I think the values are going to be important. Like such. This is company. This is U.S. locations, we'll just call it U.S. And this is foreign locations, which we'll just call it foreign. And so there are different companies. There's A, there's B, there's C, there's D, and there's E. Then company A is 1,400 in the U.S. and 4,000 foreign. I'll just mumble myself across this as I mumble to myself what to write. Just give me a moment. It's not much, so that's why I'm not going to skip ahead in the video. 12, 36, 18, This is looking messy. Very messy. There we go. Oh dear, my graph drawing skills are not good at all. 1242, 2268, and E 762, 2100. Okay. Very complicated graph, at least on my blackboard. It's not complicated at all in the book. So the table above shows the number of car rental locations for 5 car rental companies. For which of the 5 companies is the ratio of the number of foreign locations to the number of U.S. locations the greatest? So in a ratio, you just compare that one value is proportionate to the other value. It can also be written as that value is proportionate to this value, as in that value is the denominator and the initial number that is proportionate to the other number is the numerator. Okay, so we just need to figure out where the quotient of these two numbers is the greatest. And in this case, since the ratio is foreign to US, it's gonna be equal to foreign over US locations, the amount of locations. So choice A, which is company A, is the quotient is, I've written them down actually, so you can calculate them, because hopefully you'll have your calculator with you. So give me a second. So company A's ratio of foreign to US is 2.857. Company B's ratio is equal to 2.538. Company C's ratio is 3.575. Company D's ratio is 1.826. Finally, Company E's ratio is 2.756. And therefore, the greatest ratio that we can see here is the one that's choice C, to 3.575. And therefore, that's the correct answer. And I'll move on to number 10. Okay. And I like this green a lot. Just letting everybody know. This is a graph. Let me draw that out. There's the Y. This looks very confusing because there's so many slanted lines in it. X, and then 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. That's all we need to know. These are just shown that they're existing. Okay, so line L goes like this. It doesn't slant at all. It's a straight line. I'm trying to draw the straight line as properly as possible. And this is going over here. This line goes sort of like this. This is line L, this is line N, and that's a right angle. So, in the XY coordinate plane above, line N is perpendicular to line L. What is the slope of line N? Well, since they're perpendicular, we know that the slope of line N is similar to the slope of line L, in such that slope of line N, let's say the slope of line L is equal to x. Then the slope of line N will be equal to -1 over x, so the negative reciprocal. So let's find the slope of line L first. Let's take these 2 points as references where they cross the axes. So likewise, let me use a nice bold color for this. The y value changes 1, and the x value changes 3. The y value changes 1 negatively, and the x value changes 3 positively. So the slope of line L is going to be equal to -1 over 3. And so we know that the slope of line N will be the negative reciprocal. If we make this a negative reciprocal, negatives and negatives turn into pluses. And the reciprocal is going to be 3 over 1, so it's positive 3. Slope of line n is 3. And that's choice E, and that's the correct answer. So we'll go to number 11. Okay. Okay. So if k is a constant and 2x plus 5 is equal to 3kx plus 5 for all values of x, what is the value of k? So let's write out this entire expression. 2x plus 5 is equal to 3kx plus 5. So let's just start simplifying this equation. So we can subtract both sides by 5. So we will get 2x is equal to 3kx. We can divide both sides by x to get rid of the x. So 2 is equal to 3k, or 3k is equal to 2. And k is equal to 2 over 3. And that's choice E, which is the correct answer. Okay. Now we'll... I think I might finish on number 12. I'm not entirely sure, but, excuse me. So, the sum of 11 different integers is 0. What is the least number of these integers that must be positive? Well, we know that the sum is 0. So, however many positive numbers there may be, at one point, there has to be a negative number because this is the sum. There has to be at least one negative number and at least one positive number. And there's the hint, at least one. So the least number of these integers that must be positive is just 1. So let's demonstrate this. So let's say the positive number is 10. 10 plus minus 1 plus minus 2 plus minus 3 plus minus 4. You see the point, right? So, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, okay, I did it right. So, the least number of positive integers you would need to make a sum of any amount of integers to be equal to 0 is just 1. So, I could have done this just 10 plus minus 1 plus minus 1 plus minus 1, dot, 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 all the way to the 10th plus minus 1. And this is going to be 11 integers, and it's going to be equal to 0, because the negative ones are going to add up to negative 10. So the least number of integers you need, positive, so that sum of 11 integers equals to 0, is just 1. So that's choice B. And I'm going to do another problem. And then next video we will finish up on everything. So, in a certain game, each token has one of 3 possible values. 1 point, 5 points, or 10 points. How many different combinations of these token values are worth a total of 17 points? Okay, so there is the 1 token, there is the 5 token, and there's the 10 token. So all they're asking is that how many combinations are possible with just these tokens to add up to 17. So let's start with including the biggest token, which is 10. So we can have one 10 token. Let me number these. That looks like the token. Okay, there we go. So it can be a 10 token, it can be a 5 token, and then it can be 2 1 tokens. So that'll be 15 plus 2, which is 17. Another possibility is 1 10 token and 7 1 tokens. That's also going to work. Now let's remove the 10 because I don't see any other possible combinations with 10. I mean, you could just switch around the tokens, but it's still going to be the same combination. So number 3 combination will be with 5 tokens. 5 tokens. 5 tokens? 3 5 tokens. 3 5 tokens, which is 15, and 2 1 tokens. Okay, and choice 4 can be 2 5 tokens, and then that's 10, so 7 1 tokens. or it can be just one 5 token, and so that's 5, so 12 1 tokens. And finally, the last option is if they're all 1 token. So that's a possible of 6 combinations. So that's choice, I was looking at the wrong question. That is choice E. And that is the correct answer. I hope this helped you with your math preparation, your SAT preparation most importantly, and I'll see you in the next video. This icon never comes straight, but I'll see you in the next video. Take care.